The rain started before the funeral ended. Cold rain, the kind that makes expensive black suits feel heavier. My brother stood beneath the cemetery tent, pretending to mourn our father, while secretly arguing about money beside his coffin. Marcus adjusted his tie impatiently. "So who gets the penthouse?" Ethan smirked. "I already spoke to the lawyer." I stayed quiet. That's what I'd done most of my life around them. Stayed quiet. To my brothers, I was never Daniel Carter. I was the disappointment, the failed son, the teacher who never became rich, the man Dad supposedly wasted time believing in. Marcus laughed softly while guests slowly left the cemetery. "You know Dad probably left Daniel one of his old watches." Ethan grinned. "Or maybe another lecture about hard work." They laughed together. Not one person stopped them. Not my stepmother. Not my uncles. Not even the lawyer. I stared at my father's grave silently while rainwater slid down the flowers resting on his coffin. Then something strange happened. Mr. Whitmore, Dad's attorney, walked toward me, quietly holding a small brown envelope. Not the official inheritance documents. Something else. His expression looked nervous, almost emotional. "Your father asked me to give you this privately." Marcus rolled his eyes immediately. "Oh, this should be good." I slowly opened the envelope. Inside was a small brass key. Old, heavy, worn down with age, and beneath it, a handwritten note from my father. 3 lines. That was all. "They'll chase the money. You look for the truth. Start with the old hotel." The rain suddenly felt colder because I knew exactly which hotel he meant. The Ashford Grand. The abandoned luxury hotel downtown that closed 15 years ago after my father's business collapse. Marcus laughed loudly. "Wait." He pointed at the key. "He left you junk?" Even Ethan smiled now. My stepmother Diana folded her arms arrogantly. "Well," she looked at me coldly. "At least Richard tried including you somehow." I stared at the brass key silently while thunder rolled above the cemetery. And for the first time that day, something inside me didn't feel sad anymore. It felt awake. People think humiliation always arrives loudly. It doesn't. Sometimes humiliation grows slowly over years until everyone around you accepts disrespect like normal behavior. That was my life inside the Carter family. Dad built Carter Holdings from nothing. Hotels, commercial buildings, luxury investments. By the time I turned 30, my brothers were already executives inside the company. Marcus drove a Bentley before turning 26. Ethan owned 3 penthouses. And me? I taught history at a public high school in Brooklyn. Not because I failed, because I loved it. But wealthy families don't understand happiness without status attached. Especially Diana. My stepmother treated money like oxygen. Everything became reputation, image, business connections. She hated that Dad still believed in me despite my lack of ambition. 3 days after the funeral, the official will reading finally arrived. Carter Holdings headquarters overlooked Manhattan through giant glass windows. Luxury marble floors, silent elevators, cold people in expensive suits. My brothers walked into the conference room already celebrating. Marcus loosened his Rolex while grinning toward me. "You nervous?" "No." Ethan laughed softly. "You should be." Diana sat near the lawyer, calmly dressed in white like she was attending a political fundraiser instead of inheritance division. Then Mr. Whitmore opened the will. The room became silent immediately. Richard Carter leaves. He adjusted his glasses carefully. The Hamptons property to Ethan Carter. Ethan smiled instantly. The Manhattan penthouse and investment accounts to Marcus Carter. Marcus leaned back proudly. Majority executive control of Carter Holdings to Diana Carter until further board restructuring. Diana looked satisfied. Then came my part. Mr. Whitmore paused strangely, longer than necessary. Finally, he cleared his throat. To Daniel Carter. The room waited quietly. Richard Carter leaves the contents of Vault 22 inside the Ashford Grand Hotel. Silence. Marcus blinked once, then laughed. "You're kidding." Even Ethan looked confused now. The abandoned hotel? Diana frowned immediately. What kind of nonsense is this? But Mr. Whitmore kept reading. Additionally, his voice lowered slightly. Ownership access will only activate if Daniel Carter personally unlocks Vault 22. Now the room felt different, heavier. Marcus looked irritated. What does that even mean? Mr. Whitmore closed the folder slowly. It means your father left further instructions privately. Diana slammed her hand against the table. This is ridiculous, but I barely heard her anymore, because suddenly, Dad's note returned to my mind. Start with the old hotel, and deep inside my chest, for the first time in years, I realized my father may have been hiding something from everyone, even them. The Ashford Grand Hotel sat abandoned near downtown Manhattan, 15 stories tall. Dark windows, locked gates, dust-covered gold lettering. Most people believe the hotel destroyed my father financially years ago. That's the story Diana always repeated. Richard lost millions trying to save that place. But standing in front of the building now, something felt wrong. Because abandoned buildings usually feel dead. This place didn't. It felt hidden. I unlocked the side entrance using the brass key. The old doors creaked open slowly. Dust floated through weak sunlight across the giant lobby. Broken chandeliers still hung overhead. Old luxury frozen in time. Then I noticed something strange immediately. The electricity worked. Not everywhere, but enough, which meant someone maintained the building. My heartbeat slowed carefully, because abandoned properties don't quietly maintain themselves for 15 years. I walked deeper inside, past old reception desks, covered furniture, dust-covered marble floors. Then, finally, behind the old manager's office, I found it, Vault 22. Small steel door, fingerprint scanner, digital keypad, and beneath it, a message already glowing softly on the screen. Welcome back, Mr. Carter. I froze completely, because this wasn't old technology. Someone upgraded the vault recently. Suddenly, the abandoned hotel no longer felt abandoned at all. And somewhere deep beneath Manhattan, my father's final secret was waiting for me. The vault door opened slowly. Cold air escaped first. Then light. Soft, golden light hidden beneath the abandoned hotel like someone had been waiting for me to arrive. My heartbeat slowed carefully. Inside Vault 22 wasn't money. It was control. Rows of organized filing cabinets stretched across the underground room. Digital monitors glowed softly against the walls. Surveillance screens, financial records, property maps, and directly in the center, a photograph of my father. Recent, not 15 years old. Recent, meaning Dad had been here before he died. I stepped closer slowly. Beneath the photograph sat another envelope. This one carried my name written in Dad's handwriting. Daniel. Nothing else. My hands shook slightly opening it. Inside was a letter. If you're reading this, it means they still only see money. Good. That blindness kept you safe. I swallowed hard, then kept reading. The Ashford Grand never failed. I buried it intentionally. My chest tightened instantly, because that made no sense. The hotel collapse destroyed Dad publicly 15 years ago. It nearly ruined the company. At least, that's what everyone believed. Then I reached the final sentence. Everything they think belongs to Carter Holdings actually belongs beneath this hotel. Silence filled the underground vault. And suddenly, my father's empire no longer looked broken. It looked hidden. I spent 4 straight hours inside Vault 22. The deeper I searched, the more impossible everything became. Hidden shell companies, private ownership agreements, underground investment structures connected to Manhattan redevelopment project. My father secretly moved massive assets away from Carter Holdings years ago. And nobody knew. Not Marcus, not Ethan, not even Diana. Then finally, I found the document that changed everything. Ashford Urban Redevelopment Authority. Estimated valuation, $4.8 billion. I stared at the numbers silently, because according to the signatures attached, Dad placed controlling ownership under my name. Not years ago, 3 months before he died, and suddenly, the disappointment son became the most dangerous person inside the Carter family. Marcus called me the next morning for the first time in years. His voice sounded nervous. Have you touched any company accounts? Interesting question. I stayed calm. No. Long silence. Then, some investment transfers froze overnight. I leaned quietly against the old hotel desk inside the Ashford Grand. Sounds stressful. Marcus lowered his voice immediately. This isn't funny. Funny. That word again. Wealthy people always think losing control feels unfair. You should talk to legal. I am talking to legal. There it was. Panic. Not anger. Fear. After the call ended, I returned to the vault. Dad built layers beneath layers. The deeper I investigated, the uglier Carter Holdings became. Illegal executive bonuses, asset laundering, real estate fraud hidden through offshore accounts, and every signature connected back to Diana, Marcus, Ethan, not Dad. Suddenly, the family empire wasn't collapsing naturally. It was being eaten from inside. That evening, someone entered the hotel. I heard footsteps echoing across the abandoned lobby. Then voices. Marcus, Ethan, and security. They found the hotel faster than expected. Daniel. Marcus's voice echoed aggressively through the building. We know you're here. I stayed hidden quietly from the balcony above the lobby. Watching, studying. Interesting how quickly powerful men become desperate once uncertainty appears. Ethan scanned the dark lobby angrily. What did Dad leave you? Not, how are you? Not, what's going on? Only, what do you control now? Marcus kicked over an old hotel chair violently. You think hiding helps? I remained silent. And somewhere inside the darkness of the Ashford Grand, for the first time in my life, my brothers looked afraid of me. The next secret arrived through security footage. Dad recorded everything. Every office, every boardroom, every private executive meeting, including Diana. I sat inside Vault 22, watching old recordings across surveillance monitors while rain hammered Manhattan above the hotel. Then finally, I saw it. The meeting. 3 years earlier. Diana sat across from a private investor discussing Dad like a dying obstacle. He's becoming emotional. Emotional? Interesting word for honest. The investor frowned. And Daniel? Diana laughed softly. He's harmless. That sentence stayed with me painfully. Because harmless men are usually the easiest to betray. Then Diana continued. Once Richard steps down, Marcus takes operational control. And Daniel? Again, she smiled coldly. He'll never survive corporate leadership. Silence filled the vault. Because suddenly, I understood something horrifying. Dad knew. He knew they planned replacing his legacy before he even died. That's why he hid everything. Not from enemies. From family? Later that night, Mr. Whitmore arrived secretly at the hotel. The old lawyer looked exhausted. You found the redevelopment files. Not a question. I nodded quietly. He sat heavily beside the vault desk. Your father spent 15 years preparing this. Preparing what? Whitmore looked toward the glowing monitor silently. Your protection. That sentence hit harder than expected. Because suddenly, the hidden hotel stopped feeling like revenge. It felt like love. The next secret arrived through security footage. Dad recorded everything. Every office, every boardroom, every private executive meeting, including Diana. I sat inside Vault 22, watching old recordings across surveillance monitors while rain hammered Manhattan above the hotel. Then finally, I saw it. The meeting. 3 years earlier. Diana sat across from a private investor discussing Dad like a dying obstacle. He's becoming emotional. Emotional? Interesting word for honest. The investor frowned. And Daniel? Diana laughed softly. He's harmless. That sentence stayed with me painfully, because harmless men are usually the easiest to betray. Then Diana continued. Once Richard steps down, Marcus takes operational control. And Daniel? Again, she smiled coldly. He'll never survive corporate leadership. Silence filled the vault, because suddenly, I understood something horrifying. Dad knew. He knew they planned replacing his legacy before he even died. That's why he hid everything. Not from enemies. From family. Later that night, Mr. Whitmore arrived secretly at the hotel. The old lawyer looked exhausted. You found the redevelopment files. Not a question. I nodded quietly. He sat heavily beside the vault desk. Your father spent 15 years preparing this. Preparing what? Whitmore looked toward the glowing monitors silently. Your protection. That sentence hit harder than expected, because suddenly, the hidden hotel stopped feeling like revenge. It felt like love. 2 days later, Carter Holdings entered crisis publicly. Stock prices dropped, executives resigned, federal auditors appeared. Marcus lost control during a board meeting. I watched the footage quietly through Vault 22 security feeds. WHO froze the redevelopment accounts. Nobody answered, because nobody understood the truth yet. Then Whitmore revealed the second inheritance structure. Not publicly, privately, inside the vault, he placed another folder before me carefully. Your father created 2 companies. One, Carter Holdings, the public empire. The second, Ashford Urban Authority, the hidden empire. Dad intentionally separated them 15 years earlier after discovering executive corruption inside the family structure. And legally, the hidden company now belonged entirely to me. I stared at the documents quietly. This controls Manhattan redevelopment? Whitmore nodded slowly, almost 40%. My pulse tightened, because suddenly, Dad didn't leave me scraps. He left me the future. Beneath Vault 22 existed another level. Dad hid it behind biometric logs connected only to my fingerprints. The elevator descended slowly underground, further, deeper, quieter, then finally opened. And I froze, because beneath the Ashford Grand sat an entire operational command center. Live market systems, property acquisitions, government redevelopment files. The abandoned hotel secretly operated as the nerve center for a billion-dollar empire. And directly in the center stood Dad's final recorded message. A holographic screen activated automatically. Richard Carter appeared, older, tired, emotional. Daniel, his voice echoed softly underground. If you're watching this, then I was right about them. My chest tightened painfully. Dad smiled sadly. They chased ownership. Long pause. But I trusted character. Tears burned behind my eyes immediately. Because all my life, I believed Dad saw me as weak compared to Marcus and Ethan. But the truth? He trusted me more than all of them combined. Marcus finally snapped publicly. He arrived at the Ashford Grand with private security and corporate lawyers demanding access. You can't hide corporate assets. I stood calmly inside the restored lobby while rain moved across giant hotel windows behind me. Interesting. The same brothers who mocked the abandoned hotel now treated it like treasure. Ethan stepped forward aggressively. You manipulated Dad. That almost made me laugh, because they still couldn't imagine Dad choosing me willingly. Whitmore finally spoke coldly. Richard Carter legally transferred redevelopment authority to Daniel months before his death. Marcus's face lost color instantly. No. Whitmore handed him the documents. It's over. Silence swallowed the lobby. Then Marcus whispered the saddest sentence I'd ever heard from him. He trusted you? Not you won. Not this belongs to you. Just shock. Because deep down, Marcus truly believed money measured worth. And Dad's final decision destroyed that belief permanently. 3 weeks later, federal investigations exploded publicly. Diana, Marcus, Ethan, all exposed. Financial fraud, corporate theft, illegal laundering. News stations surrounded Carter Holdings endlessly. And through all of it, I stayed quiet. No interviews, no revenge speeches, no celebration. Because Dad never built the hidden empire for revenge. He built it for survival. One evening, Marcus visited me alone. No expensive suit, no arrogance, just exhaustion. I hated you because Dad respected you. Honest words, finally. Painful words. I stayed silent. Marcus lowered his eyes. You never fought for attention. Long pause. And somehow that made him trust you more. For the first time in years, my brother sounded human. Not powerful. Not rich. Human. 1 year later, the Ashford Grand reopened. Completely restored. Golden lights filled the lobby once abandoned by the city. Luxury returned. Music returned. Life returned. But something else returned too. My father's name. Not as scandal, as legacy. Guests filled the ballroom during reopening night while Manhattan glowed beyond the giant windows. Whitmore stood beside me quietly. Your father would have been proud. I looked across the restored hotel silently. No. Soft smile. He expected this. And somehow, that felt even more emotional. Later that night, I walked alone through the underground vault one final time. The command center remained operational beneath the hotel, but Dad's final message still played softly across the dark room. Character survives longer than money. That's why I chose you. I stared at the screen quietly while the sounds of the restored hotel echoed faintly above us. And finally, after years of humiliation, after years of being underestimated, after years of being called the disappointment son, I understood something priceless. My father never left my brothers millions. He left them temptation. But he left me trust.